Her smile shines as bright as the stars at night. Her heart is as kind as can be. She has the patience of a saint, but if you push her, oh Lordy. A straight talker is Smiley. She's the salt of the earth. Make no mistake, she matters. Catch Smiley's story on a live stream. Oh boy, that girl can matter. Go Smiley. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Missing posters and stories of heartache and fear. She tells us all of the heartbreaking tears. She can sniff out the guilty from a mile away. If Smiley's on the case, then she's here to stay. She cares about these missing children. She cares deeply about them all. She speaks the truth with integrity. For the truth, she will seek it all. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Smiley's questions are like a heat-seeking missile. She's going straight for the bullseye. Don't ever believe you can fool her. She's too wise, man, she won't comply. She values freedom like the 4th of July. She values respect even more. If you want to earn a place at Smiley's table, watch the clock, it takes time for sure. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you break her trust, you're done for. Trust don't grow back like grass. So don't give Smiley a reason to doubt you, or that friendship will shatter like glass. She's a damn good woman, that much we know. She puts in the hours to bring them kids home. If your child is missing, you want Smiley on the case. She is always willing and she gives so much grace. She's a Smiley, alright. She's a Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you're guilty, you better feel fear.
Hello, everybody. Come on in. It's Tuesday, July 15th. I thought I would start just a few minutes early. We got a lot to go over today. We have a whole lot to go over today. I don't know how long this might take. You might want to grab you some snacks. Grab some snacks and some Cokes and coffee and anything else. Wine, whatever it is you want. Just don't be in here whining. We don't need no whining because there's probably going to be some crying. I don't know. But welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here on July 15th. Plus, you'll probably hear the thunder and lightning out there. Oh, Lord, we're going to have another thunderstorm rolling in. Hey, Dawn Emery, welcome in. Deb, Maritza, Michelle, Ohio Stephanie, beautiful Millie. Come on in, Holly S. Hello, Kiki. Hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here. You got a Coke and a mushroom chocolate bar. What in the heck? You better bring your Coke and Smile in here. That's what you better be bringing, not no mushroom chocolate bar. Just saying. What in the heck? Honey, I'm from Tennessee. I ain't never heard of no mushroom chocolate bar. What you be talking about, girl? I'm just saying. There you go, Millie. Millie's on duty. She done brought all the snacks. Yeah, these thunderstorms are bad. I just went out and watered my flowers because yesterday they didn't get watered. Something about the low pressure, and I was like, what is going on? I called the water company. I'm like, I'll pay my bill. What's wrong with y'all? But anyway, it was the low pressure or something. I guess I don't know if they had a wreck down the road or whatever. So they didn't get watered yesterday. So they about had heat strokes. I might have to replant some things out there, pull some weeds, but Smiley don't feel like getting all hot. But I went out there and watered them this morning, and now it's going to rain. The thunder is rolling in, honey. It is rolling in. Let's see. You had an earthquake there. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. My everyday life is an earthquake. My everyday life is an earthquake, honey. Well, y'all are on that fault line, honey. You're liable to get an earthquake and not come back up. I'm just saying. I don't know. I hope everything's fine. Everybody's fine. The weather's fine. We're gonna go over. Hey, not crazy but crazy lady. Hello, hello. I learned some things yesterday, and I had a guest. Oh, I don't know. It's been a while back, and we all heard of him. He went viral. The story went viral. A lot of corruption going on down in Georgia. A lot of things going on. And listen, you know how Smiley talks. I don't wish death upon nobody. Nobody, honey. But there's some things that I learned yesterday. Oh, he's okay. We ain't talking about him. I'm just saying. So I want y'all to come on in and sit down because we got a lot of things to go over. I was working late into the night. I even reached out to him. And I haven't heard back yet. I don't even think he's opened it. But we're going to go over my interview. And he has made a recent interview. And I'm so glad that this was sent to me because they're like, Smiley, did you know about this? I'm like, no way. Nobody wins in things like this. Yeah, there's corruption in everywhere. Absolutely. So this is interesting. This is an interesting story. At least I think so. And we're going to get to it. The problem is I don't know where I want to go first. The he. Well, let's get to the he first, I guess. Well, let me say this. This is about land, loss, legacy, and it is a true story, and it's a story of Derek Williamson and the fight for justice and the fight for his life, it seems like. So welcome in, everybody. We're going to talk about this, and I'm going to dive hard into this story because I interviewed this guy, Derek, sweetest guy. You remember him, Millie? You're going to love it. Well, no, you're not going to love all what happened because, like I said, nobody wins. But I think y'all are going to like today's live. It's interesting. If you hadn't heard this story, you really need to get caught up on it. It's a lot. I'm going to dive into this story. And because I interviewed this guy, I'm going to show you my interview as well. He's very kind. He's young. And in my opinion, he was very much so cheated and taken advantage of. And there was definitely a lot of corruption going on in Georgia. You know, they say money talks and bullshit walks. Well, it definitely was talking and walking in Georgia. We ain't talking about like Sebastian Rogers. We ain't talking Hawkins County. We talking about the money flew and the bullshit walked in Georgia. I didn't stay with this case because it was messy, honey. It was messy, and it's still messy. So I hope you remember this interview I did. We're going to go over this first with Derek. His story went viral, and it's still going crazy out there. I don't know how I missed everything that's happened. There's been something I just found out, and we need to follow up on it. So buckle your seat belts. Buckle your seat belts. All right. Hold on just a minute. Okay, I'm going to get to mine. Hold on. Let's see. I got to get to mine. Okay, mine. Hold on. Again, I'm not going to address you. I made a boo-boo. I have Derek, the guy that I talked about yesterday on the live. He's on the phone. And I'll explain all that in Smiley style later. I love you all, but he's gonna talk. He's on the phone right now. I'm here, Annabella. She's texting me saying, "Are you going live?" All right, Derek, can you go ahead and please state your name for me? I apologize, and I love you, and I'm so sorry.
Oh no, we're good. I give a brief introduction. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Derek Williamson. A lot of you all may know me as a black farmer out of Georgia that's in a complex case of having his land stolen. A case that resulted in my animals losing their lives, being stolen, displaced from our home, and what we believe to be a violation of civil rights, of me being kicked off my land, and animals having to go to different zoos. It was just a crazy story. So most people have seen my TikTok. It has gone mega viral, and with the hope that we would get help. So every creator, every content creator that I come across and that reaches out, I'm trying to do the best I can to balance just and get it on platforms, letting people know the story about what happened. Because at the end of the day, you know, quite frankly, it can happen to anybody. But through my tragedy, I know a lot of people will be helped, and it's created an advocate out of me to help people and try to get through this situation the best I can. So Smiley, thank you for having me on this morning. Not sure what time zone you're in, but to all of your supporters and followers, you know, on behalf of myself and my entire animal family, we appreciate you all for for getting to know the story. I mean, it's a lot of twists and turns.
We're gonna get into all
on my TikTok yet at Derek #4 Wildlife 007. I advise you to go get caught up. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, please go subscribe to him on TikTok. If you don't have a TikTok, please go subscribe. I have been trying to keep up, and it's wild. Dynamite, my mod, has brought that to my attention. Go subscribe to her. I thank her for this. I really want to be involved in this. I don't know what all I can do, but I will do something. I will speak loud and proud. This is a story to be reckoned with. I challenge all the mainstream media to get involved. I don't know why. I don't know why this is going on. Can you tell me where you stand today as far as, are these people, the Jordans, are they still in your house to this day?
Yes. So those people that have assault me in videos that with the alleged help of corrupt judicial officials, meaning judges, yes, they allowed them to stay in my home. So the holder off my land for what's going on, maybe it's 2 years now. So they are still there now. My animals are still displaced and away from our home. So now media and hope that it will overturn corruption that we believe is going on in Morgan County, Georgia.
Oh, that's so sad. So sad. And I really hope you get your home back and your animals back. You know, you can't trust anybody. I say, you know, if you have, this cannot go on. Pretty soon we're all going to be where we can't trust even living in our own home, sleeping at night, in fear of the law saying, no, this is not your home anymore. And so-and-so knows so-and-so, and they're going to just throw us out. We can't. This is America. I thought it was supposed to be the home of the free and the brave. Where's everybody? I work for my home. I built my home with my own hands. If somebody did that to me, I mean, you have, and I don't know if your mom's, I said it last night, is alive or deceased. And either way, I apologize if I'm stepping on any toes. But I can tell she raised a good young man, because that little Jordan girl, Smiley, no, I couldn't have walked out of that house. Judge, no judge, corruption, no corruption. I praise your mom for raising a good young man.
Thank you.
And
Absolutely.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Do you have an attorney now?
So I do have a civil defense attorney. So I have an attorney that's been defending myself in the company because they're filing several cases against me left and right. I'm being accused of all kinds of things. So she's been doing my civil defense. Of course, they've arrested me, wrongfully arrested me on the day of my brother's funeral. So I'm fighting criminal cases that the state is charging me with. I've already been found guilty of stalking a chief magistrate court judge that I've never spoken to or seen outside of court, because you all have seen social media posts of me, filming an officer telling an officer that Jordan Hardy in that video cannot be charged for all that mess that she did and trying to goat me into putting my hands on her after watching my brother not being here with us anymore that morning.
Yeah.
So. That was tough, and the judge interfered, and it went viral. And so she came after me personally. Granted, she's an elected official. There is a First Amendment right that protects my freedom of speech. But all I ever said, if you look in the media and look all around, you never hear me bash anybody or anything like that. All you hear me is use as the word corruption.
Right.
That's my go-to. That's very clear. But even on the heels of just using the word corruption, they found fit to find me guilty and gave me the maximum 12-month order in Georgia, and made sure that I'm barred. They tell me I'm barred from the courthouse from going in, except when they hear the case from my land in this arrest case.
Absolutely. Yeah, he has a civil attorney. That's what he was just talking about. Crimes have consequences, and that's what he was just talking about. Let's see. Hold on. Lady Q says hold on just a minute, because I was talking to her last night. She said she has Smiley, I have 2 organizations to send you for legal defense. They are 501c3c. Okay, send me that information. Yeah, I have a lot of people already last night that was sending me information and stuff. So we're trying to get all the information together. And I am begging anybody that is willing to get me information, to get you information, and, whatever we can. And I'm begging mainstream media to get this, whatever. And if there's anything that you think that, I don't know that I can do. All right. I want to tell y'all something. I bet mainstream media got it now, honey. It did go viral, but I want to tell you something. I can't wait any longer. The Hardies, and this is what I just found out, and this is one of the reasons I'm bringing this back, and this is why you're here. The Hardies, the hateful people that took his land and everything, but it's not over and nobody wins. That's what I named it. And it's still going on, and he's still fighting for all of his things. They died February 15th. My anniversary. They died in a plane crash, a private plane crash in Georgia. That was them. We're going to get there. So I told you to buckle up and just hang tight. In case you're wondering why I'm replaying this and why we're going through this today, let's just sit back and relax. Or whatever, please email me with that. I'll give you my email address too. Okay. And I will talk, speak, write, whatever I can. I don't know what I can do, but I feel the need that I need to help you, and I will.
I appreciate that. And right now, it's been a very difficult road for myself and this animal family. The tragedy has now started to riddle through their nation now, and I appreciate every individual. Cases like this, I've learned that, I've been virus. This is my first time going mega viral in this case. But I believe this time is where the hearts of the people are finally connecting to the case. But I'm like, oh, that's sad. Oh, that's bad. Most people thought because I was so viral that, oh, he got his land back, I got everything back. No, the case still went on. And I ask people to be intentional. So people say, how can I help and what can I do? First and foremost, be intentional on following the story, because it has so many unfoldings and twists and turns and new evidence is coming out often that you got to be intentional on following it. I know the internet gets bored really quickly. That's
Absolutely.
They're making sure to share the story, understanding this story. And once you go spend time looking at all the assault videos, all the interferences, you can see my animals. I got my water buffaloes and sloths and kinkajous.
Yeah.
And you see the love I have for all of my animals in my videos. It's like when anybody says animals know character, they know love, they know what that looks like. They choose who they love. And my videos are very clear of the love and relationship and connection I have to my animal family.
Yes.
That left me in complex sorrow, not being with them. And the last thing is we're doing a call to action soon. I'm not announcing it public yet because we're in the last phase. I'm dealing with some different organization presidents and national directors. We've just convened yesterday to begin to discuss a call of action that we will probably take to the general public in the next week or so. So just stay tuned. I will be posting on social media, and all the directors and national and the presidents of organizations, we will all be going green and going live at the same time, letting people know, hey, we've asked how to help now. This is how we're going to help. This is our first stand for justice for this animal family. So
Okay.
just stay tuned.
Okay, I will. And also, will this go to the Supreme Court, do you think?
You know what? We're not. Because there's such complex levels of corruption. It looks like this is going to be a very extensive legal battle. But in my case, I'm not standing down. You've taken my home, my animal family. I've lost one of the closest ones, my big brother, the closest person to me through this process. I have nothing left but fighting me. So if it goes to the Supreme Court, I'm along for the journey. It's a fight now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Somebody asked that in the audience, so I wanted to ask you. And I hope, please don't ever give up. Please don't give up. And it's your home. Everybody has a right. You have the deeds, you have everything. And we can't allow this. This cannot be allowed. Listen, I don't care what color you are, what gender you are, or anything. Corruption, non-corruption. We cannot allow this in America. Sure can't. It's not right. So with all the red tape and everything, and I don't know the legal mumbo jumbo and all that, I'm telling you, right is right and wrong is wrong, and we cannot allow this. This is not right.
Absolutely. And if we the people don't come together to hold politicians and those in government and power accountable, we put them in office and we are the accountability. But our voices are not strong until we unite them. That's when change happens. That's when we withstand them on every front. And if they need to serve us and help us, but turns out sometimes we've learned through judicial corruption that they have ulterior agendas of control and things like that. But my case is out there and there's a lot going on, but I fight for the defense of all land at the end of the day. My case is very clear what's going on here. I'm dealing with some bad apples right now, and that's the focus. But overall, though, we all have to understand that there's some things I'm going to go ahead and put up. Because some of you may not know, I'm going to put you on game on this. The government has already passed something called 3030. I've not mentioned this in the media yet, but there is a 3030 act that's been put out. Biden has already signed the executive order for it. And that's for 30%. They want to take 30% of all land, all land, and restore it back to original use, meaning that no animals and no humans. Turns out the only problem is out of the 60%, the federal government only owns 40% of land. Okay. So that means who owns the 60%? The private world. Yeah. So they found a ploy to take that land, And if you go look up the 3030, it's the 3030 Act. 3030 is what it's called. Look that up, and you're going to be quite surprised. It's already been executive order are signed for. So if you have waterways on your property or have the cattle trails or things like that, you might want to be concerned. And when you go look up that, it's already done. It was slipped into the past legislation. So this may be about my land right now in this corrupt situation, but they're coming for your land too.
Yes.
So I advise you to join the fight, everybody.
Yeah. And this is so wrong. It's so wrong, and this is why I'm standing up. people, this is why I'm standing up, and you need to stand up too. I mean, I can't tell you what to do. Everybody has, whatever, but this is why it's crazy. Squatters have We were at more Walmart yesterday, and I won't even say what it was for. It's just ridiculous because it's a whole nother can of worms. But my husband come out and said, they tried to get me to sign this and that. And I said, did you? And he's like, no. He's like, it's amazing how many people was signing, and they didn't even realize what they were signing. I'm like, yeah, that's right. So, yeah, it's crazy. So the government is just unreal, and we cannot stand up and allow this to happen. But they abused this man. They're still in his house today. Y'all seen that? He just got back from his brother's funeral. The nasty things that girl said. And how did the judge know? Before? How was she allowed to interfere? I mean, crazy.
That's beyond me. It's beyond me. And the one thing you see, most people, so in the first video that we see of Jordan, accosting me that was actually my brother passed away that morning, and I saw him on scene that morning.
Yes.
So I just lost him a couple hours before that incident. Then 2 weeks later, exactly 2 weeks later, when the funeral, we had the physical, had to go through those arrangements. I was arrested that night, so that was two separate instances for being assaulted and dealt with the mess with her. They destroyed my vehicle that night too, of my brother's passing. Then 2 weeks later, I would be arrested and after my brother's funeral, I'll be spend my entire next days or so in jail, away from my family and friends, and after having to bury my brother. For lack of a better term.
So sad.
So, two separate instances, yeah. Hey, they did a number on me for sure.
So sad. I'm so sorry. You're having to go through all this. I really am. I'm so sorry, and I hope that there is a conclusion to this very soon. It sounds like it's going to be a very long and drawn out thing, and I will do everything that I can to help you. I know that you were put on the spot this morning because he was actually going to call and he wanted to get in touch with me. I woke up and I was told that he did want to get in touch with me. This was not a planned live, y'all. I promise y'all it was not. And I'm not going to stay on here long. I want to explain what happened. Y'all know I tell the truth and stuff, and y'all know me and my buttons. He don't yet. He may think this is a trick. It was not a trick. I promise. Promise to God. I did want to explain while he was on here. I told Dino called me and said he wants to get in touch with you. And I'm like, I'm just rolling out of bed. Let me get my coffee. So she did give me a few minutes to let me get ready and stuff before she told him. Sent the emails. We text back and forth a few times. So I come in here and I'm sitting down and I'm trying to fix, my buttons. And I'm like, well, what if he does want to do a live? Let me fix this. Let me see. Y'all know I can't send them to the emails and messages and stuff, the private links. I said, I'm going to work on that and see if I can fix it today so I don't have no jack-o'-legs. Is that what y'all call it? Somebody? And get in my live streams and mess it up, instead of me just putting the link there. So I did, and I looked, and I said, I think I can do it. I left the stream, because it wasn't live, and I just went on in the kitchen and come back in here, and I come back, and because I had put it down. And then I looked, and my room is full because I can see, even though I'm not live. And I text Derek and I said, oh my God. I said, I think I got a live stream set or something. I said, you might want to text me. Do you want to go on a live panel? I said, it's not a trick. He said, I can do video. For all I know, he could have been in his underwear or something. I don't know. And he's like, I don't mind doing a video. And so I'm like, well, call me. I think you better call me now. I don't want to leave my people hanging. So.
No, absolutely. It's good. I'm glad. Like I said, it's definitely spontaneous in every sense of the way. But hey, sometimes those are fine too. These days, one thing about me, I'm just real smooth selling, and I just believe in just making. If it's simple, keep it simple. So if it's complicated, let's work through it. So we're good. I appreciate being on the live, being on this live, and thank you to all your supporters, everybody.
Okay, I wasn't sure how much longer that went, but anyway. So you get the gist of it. I talked to him. He's a really good guy. He's been through hell and back. And what we're talking about today is I did find out some information. Those people did die in a plane crash, but not crazy is right. It gets complicated. because I guess the kids are still in there, and the heirs and all that stuff. So yeah, we're gonna get there. I got more video, I got more things to say. So just tonight, we're gonna dive into this true story that cuts deep. It's a story of trust and betrayal, resilience, and justice. Justice is still waiting to be served. This is about Derek Williamson, a young black farmer, and he's in Georgia, and how everything he built was nearly stolen. Well, it was stolen. It wasn't nearly stolen. Right out from under him. Not by strangers, but by people he trusted the most. These people didn't try to take his land and his animals. They tried to take his whole entire life. And these people were important people. They had money. They had status. They had people in their pockets. And I did write to judges, and I did write to the courts, and I did speak with people there. These people thought they were entitled. They didn't just try to take the land. They tried to erase his whole being. They tried to erase his life and his entire future. That's how deep down, low down, and dirty these people went. Hello, Lorraine Law, Gypsy, everybody coming in. Thank you for being here. Please hit that thumbs up. Derek is a farmer, and he loves animals. He had therapy animals. He had a lot of land for healing. He trusted so much, and in my opinion, he trusted the wrong people. Janet and James Hardy, oh my God, they became a brutal nightmare. Even today, even after they're gone. Even when people have to answer to higher powers, even when they have to answer, or when they don't have to answer to crooked judges and people high in the courts and people above them, because yes, everybody is above them. Everybody has someone above them. The day comes where we all have to answer. So even in their brutal games and their nightmares, they may not have to answer to Georgia, to the state, but they do have to answer. Sometimes justice moves slow, but we don't stop standing. We plant our feet like our roots, and we grow in truth. Now, James and Janet Hardy, the Georgia couple, at the center of all of this controversy, everything that went viral involving Derek Williamson, were an older white couple. They were property owners. They had duplexes. They had this, they had that, they had money. Initially, they presented themselves as benefactors. And what makes this story especially complicated is the mixture of generosity from Derek and deep, deep betrayal and unsolved power dynamics that played out publicly, actually. That's right, Leslie. Keep it real. Right is right and wrong is wrong, and I don't care who you are. And painfully public for Derek. A wealthy couple from Georgia, reportedly with very strong real estate holdings, including dozens of rental duplexes in Covington, Newton County. They entered Derek Williamson's life under the pretense of supporting his nonprofit animal therapy sanctuary he had. And according to Derek, they provided land, funds, approximately $1 million. And I have all these papers. I can post them when I'm done as well. Court documents, all the things. But they shared a mortgage on the surface, a dream partnership, or so Derek thought. Derek legally deeded the property to his nonprofit, where he was listed as the sole owner, the sole dictator, the sole everything. All the paperwork is there. Smiley's got it all. So does Derek. And even though there's paperwork and all the things, it didn't matter. It didn't matter to corrupt Georgia. It didn't matter. Everything showed it was his and is his, period. Why did they try to take it all back? Well, there was several motivations and several allegations about that. Control. Many sources say the Hardies' support came with unspoken expectations. They allegedly believe Derek owed them, and they wanted control. Despite the deed being in his nonprofit's name, when Derek asserted his independence, I guess, how did they get rich anyway? Some people just lay down and shut up and they let you have what you take. Derek was not one of these guys. Smiley's not one of these people. And Derek's been fighting for years, and he's still fighting. They tried to erase his everything, in my opinion. But you got to ask yourself, how did they get their money? Makes you wonder, don't it? What Derek asserted was his independence, running the farm his way, caring for the animals, and being fully legally covered. The Hardies may have felt challenged or threatened in some way. Then again, who knows? Again, how did they become so rich anyway? I imagine not on a salary of a teacher. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Did a teacher become rich by their salary? I'm just wondering. That's just one of them. Then there was possible exploitation. This has been described as a modern case of land theft, all wrapped up in the panthology. Critics say the Hardies used a gift as a form of leverage, supporting Derek only as long as he remained compliant. Derek is a young black farmer trying to build generational wealth and healing in the South. And the Hardies, again, is an older white couple with legal resources, wealth, and they may have underestimated and disrespected Derek. Hey, Lisa, y'all welcome in. But when a black man starts thriving in a space they didn't expect, some people think they didn't like that. True or not, I don't know, but it's probably partially true. They don't want help. They want to hold the leash. They want to hold the entire leash. Well, Derek is not an animal. He takes care of the animals. Derek is a human being. So was that possible? Sure. But the Hardies were so very cruel. Why? I mean cruel. Even on his brother's day of his death. They were so mean to him. And I'm going to show you video. We're going to get into all of it. If you're just coming in, hit the thumbs up. And also, bring your snacks. It's going to be a long one. But that's the heartbreaking part. If Derek's count is accurate, and I definitely 100,000% believe him, and everything I've did my research on, everything I've seen, all the papers I have, is true. They turned off power. The Hardies turned off power. They tried to evict him from his own home, his own sanctuary, and allegedly filed a fraudulent report against him to state agencies. And after his brother died, they tried to take over even more. They ran over him. They did everything that they could. They had these judges and these people in their pockets. Again, they were millionaires. Do you hear me? They were millionaires. Derek said they tried to destroy not just his home, but his dream, his livelihood, and his mission of animal healing and land justice. The way they treated him, oh, we're going to watch that. And that's just going to be a snippet. Yeah, it seems like a pattern, don't it, baby kisses? The way they treated him was despicable. And again, especially during the loss of his brother. So let me see if I can find that one. Hold on just a minute. I got a few up here, but y'all know I get confused and don't have them in order. Hold on a minute. Which one do I want? Okay, let's just do this one. This is a TikTok one, so it shouldn't be long. This is his TikTok.
My name is Derek Williamson. I'm the young black farmer out of Georgia whose life was catastrophically flipped upside down by the brutal might of injustice. I'm the young black farmer that believes that no matter who you are, you have a right to pursue your dream. My dream just so happened to be to connect humans and animals in a symbiotic relationship, promoting conservation, education, and animal therapy initiatives was my farm and ministry purpose. I would find myself being kicked off my land for over 2 years now. I find myself being convicted of stalking a chief magistrate court judge that I've never spoken to outside of court or ever seen outside of court before.
She's the worst of them
My
all.
animals were stolen, slaughtered, and rehomed against my will on the land that I own. People that I thought was there to help us and the gifts that they gave to further the ministry were mingled in deceit and corruption. I'll never stop telling the story. Help.
This gentleman is trespassing on my property, causing havoc and harassing me in my situations here. Tag plate, individual, Mr. Hardy, leave this property now.
That's just one of them. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right, that one, the other one, evidently I've got to find. Sorry, y'all. Okay, anyway, I'll find that one because you need to see that one. Evidently, I got to find that one because I put the wrong one up. But hold on just a minute. So those coming in that don't know, and we're going to get to it. There's another interview he did after. Yeah, they ought to be ashamed. They ought to be ashamed. Hold on. Screaming and yelling at him and all the things. This wasn't just a legal fight. It was a spiritual warfare, in my opinion. Now, you say you won't, you believe what you want and you say what you want, but I'm telling you, God don't like ugly. James and Janet Hardy died in a private plane crash on February 15th, 2025 of this year. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing this live. I wanted to update you. I just found out about it. And again, I heard this and I just realized that this was them in this private plane crash. I don't wish death upon anybody. They will have to answer, unfortunately, as I know they will. It may not be to the Georgia courts or anyone, but they're going to have to answer. But reportedly, their heirs continue this legal fight with Derek, showing that the mindset and entitlement may have been deeper than just a couple. I guess the apple don't fall far from the tree, does it? And I guess people do miss their signs after all. That's what's sad. The Hardies may have seen themselves as owners of Derek's success, not supporters. Their cruelty, if Derek's story is fully accurate, and again, I believe him, and I believe it is from what I've seen, read, researched, wrote to the Georgia courts, done, was rooted in plain and simple entitlement from these people, control, racism, as bad as I do not and tried not to bring that into this. It's disguised as charity, but Derek's still standing. He's still fighting and he's still hoping for justice. I want to read y'all Janet's obituary. Again, I'm not trying to be cruel. I am speaking my truth. Right. Greedy demons in every way. Greedy gets you nowhere. Oh, God, greed gets you nowhere. I do too, Leslie. I absolutely do. I cannot stand it. Janet W. Hardy, 1965 through February 15th, 2025. Janet W. Hardy, beloved wife, educator, and community member, passed away tragically on February 15th, 2025, in a small aircraft accident near the Covington Municipal Airport, Georgia. Born around 1965, Janet was deeply committed to the education and well-being of her students. She's devoted her professional life to teaching first grade at Putnam County Primary School, where she inspired with patience, warmth, and love. The Putnam County Charter School System remembers her as a caring educator whose influence will be felt far beyond the classroom. Oh, and I think she taught first graders, by the way. Lord help. Janet shared a loving partnership with her husband, James E., they called him Jay, Hardy, who also perished alongside her in the crash. Together, they were well known in their local community. Janet for her nurturing presence in schools, and James for his extensive real estate holdings and interpetual, I can't say that word, pursuits. A funeral service is expected to be announced by the Hardy family, giving friends, colleagues, students, and neighbors an opportunity to honor her memory. Janet will be remembered for her kindness, dedication to education, and sincere care for every child she taught. She leaves behind cherished memories in the hearts of countless families and friends. Now, not to be cruel, but it made me think. I just wonder, with all due respect, how she'll really be remembered. How many friends she really had, and who really cherished her, in my opinion. Again, I don't wish death on nobody, but they, her husband, they put Derek through hell in a life after life, through court systems that was corrupt, that was so corrupt it was impossible to believe. And when his brother died, Derek's, and on the very day, they were so cruel to him and so hurtful, and it was just inhumane to him and any other human being. It just seems strange to me that their time of fate, per se, the bullshit keeps shining through for them in an obituary. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Again, why do people have to lie? It takes us back there. Why do people have to lie? Now, I will read Jay's obituary. James E. J. Hardy, 1962 to February 15th, 1925. James E. J. Hardy was 62 years old. Don't y'all think they were a little bit old to be acting the way they were acting? I'm just asking. Anyway, passed away tragically on February 15th, 2025 in a small plane crash shortly after takeoff from Covington Municipal Airport. Rockwell Commander took off at 11 p.m. Born Sarah 1962. Sierra 1962. Jay was a respected real estate interpreter in Newton and Covington counties, notably co-owning multiple rental duplex properties. He was deeply involved in the local community and was recognized by friends as a close mentor and avid pilot. He is survived by his beloved wife, Janet W. Hardy, his daughters, Jordan, which she is evil. Jordan is so evil, y'all. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Sorry. And her fiance, Sean Reiser, and Claire Hardy, and beloved grandchildren. I won't read their names. You can read them. Friends and family remember Jay for his generous spirit and mentorship, as one lifelong friend reflected. Jay was a good friend for many years. He was very instrumental in pointing Sean in a direction for the future. He was a great mentor. A celebration of life services was held on March 1st, 2025 at Park Place Church in Snellville, Georgia, organized by J.C. Harwell Funeral Home and Cremation Chapel. Jay's sudden passing has deeply affected family and community members alike. He is remembered not only for his success in business, but also for his dedication to those around him, fostering connections, offering guidance, and inspiring others with his warm presence. Forever, our hearts, Jay's legacy as a mentor, family man, and community-minded interpreter will endure. Hmm. Wonder who wrote all these obits. I'm just curious. Deep pockets run deep. Again, I say money talks and bullshit walks. The truth is, in my opinion, James and Janet Hardy may have one face in public and a very different face in private. You know, two faces, maybe 3, 4. Just saying. We've seen the obituaries. We've seen the glowing praise, the words like mentor, beloved, generous. I've seen not only Derek's, but I've seen Derek on videos on TikTok, which I was going to play, but we got other things to go over, where he went to the rentals where people were renting from Mr. Hardy. Those are a nightmare in themselves. They're a whole nother story for a whole nother damn day. But those who watch what happened to Derek Williamson, those who lived it, know that this is not the truth. The truth is, these weren't just property owners. These were people who allegedly weaponized their power. They turned on someone they called family at one time. They tried not to just take his land and his animals. They tried to take his identity, his dignity, his hope. And no obituary should ever erase that. They're gone now. And some will say, well, let the dead rest. I can respect that. But you know what? When does Derek get his rest? Bullshit. Bullshit. The damage they caused is still alive. Their deaths didn't bring justice, and it didn't bring peace. Their heirs are still fighting Derek in court. His animals were still slaughtered. His life, look how young he is and what all he accomplished, is ruined. Truthfully, about people who were not even who they said they were and wanted to try to rewrite history. History does not need more edits. It needs more honesty. Absolutely second to number one. When James and Janice Hardy died in a plane crash in February 15th, 2025, the headline said, beloved. The obituaries called them mentors and educators and community leaders. But there's another truth they did not print. Derek Williamson, a young black farmer, trusted them, let them into his dream, into his world, into his home, into his animal sanctuary, on his land. And then they tried to take it back. They cut off power. They tried to evict him from his land, legally deeded to his nonprofit. They filed reports that were false. They fought him in court. All the while, he was still grieving for the loss of his brother. That's not mentorship. That's betrayal wrapped in money and power. Death does not erase harm. And legacy is not built on public praise. It's built on the truth. So I speak it. I'll speak the truth. For every Black landowner who's ever been tricked, pressured, or pushed off of what they legally own, for every dreamer who's watched their safe place turn into a battlefield, and for Derek, who is still here, still standing. The Hardies may be gone, but the fight for justice is not. And they have to answer. Again, I reached out for comment to Derek last night. I'm sure he's got a lot on his plate. I tried to touch base. I have touched base with him before. He said he would catch up, and then all this happened, I found out. You know, I don't know. And I saw, but I saw and I have the records. And honestly, now, if I was him, and this is just me, I would never want to live there again. However, it's his. Just like what's yours is yours, and it don't matter old, new, big, small, torn, gathered. What's yours is yours, and what's mine is mine, and he deserves it back. He deserves to do whatever he wishes if he gets it back, to burn it to the ground if that's what he wants to do. And Derek, if you see this and you hear this, know I am still praying for you. And I sent you a prayer in your messenger last night on Facebook and a message. You hang in there. You continue to be kind. I said before, your mama raised you right. Please continue to be kind. It may not seem like things are going your way, but they will. You be strong. When you feel like you can't go on, you're not alone. You're not alone. People you don't even know are still out here rooting for you. We're going to go and we're going to watch this. Hold on just a minute. Oh, and this he speaks after, because I had something at first where they did want to get, you know, when this happened, and he didn't want to speak on it at that time. I guess he was trying to pull everything together. But let's watch what Derek had to say after, because he did go on an interview. And let me get this up. Hold on just a minute. Let's see. He went on Justice Denied. Y'all drop that. Uh-oh. I'll put it right there. And can I? Well, hold on. I'll put it right there, and then I'm going to make another one. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so I'll do it like that. And then, hold on just a minute. Sorry, y'all. Share screen. Okay.
Or do you want to give me an introduction, Drake?
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
While he waits to turn on the camera, I'm gonna give y'all a small introduction about Derek. Derek Williamson, if you haven't heard the story, Derek is the one that had the he has the farm, not had. He has the farm down there in Covington, Georgia. Okay. Give you a little background on him. He has an extensive background in ministry. He has an extensive background in community work, which which has led him to work with the community. But that's how he was introduced to the Hardies. Okay, and the Hardies, they were a family that was deeply involved in volunteer work, giving generous contributions to different causes and stuff. And then over the time, their shared dedication between Derek and the Hardies and stuff of making a difference in the lives of other people in the same type of dynamic, right? So Derek, he ended up opening up his house to Janet and their daughter Jordan and their other daughter Claire, and it was during a crisis dealing with Jordan's pregnancy. Okay, so he opened up his home to them. He wants to help them out. So then there was in a turn with that. That's when Janet Hardy, she had expressed a desire to gift this farm, this whole property down there in Morgan County, Georgia. Okay, gift this whole thing to Derek's ministry. Even though Derek was skeptical, he was skeptical because it's a very, very expensive piece of property, right? So Derek, he eventually agreed to accept this whole generous gift. The deed was intended to be in the ministry's name, which was a decision that was made to ensure clarity and permanence, right? And it was affirming the property as a unadulterated gift per Janet's intentions, right? So the relationship between Derek and the Hardies took a very negative turn, and everybody's seen that as it grew and it became more prevalent on the internet, on social media. It took a negative turn, right? When the value of this property it increased tremendously. Okay, I mean, very valuable. And when you see the house, you see the farm and everything, you'll be like, somebody donated that. So the Hardies, even though Derek said, for reasons entirely not clear, we know the reasons. It was greed, right? So they attempted to try to sell his property against his wishes. And this right here was the beginning of many legal battles, the beginning of many false reports, the beginning of series of actions aimed at trying to dismantle Derek's ownership and dismantle his control and dismantle his ministry. All right. So Derek had seeked to try to get legal recourse. He tried to get restraining orders, but in that small town down there, he was met with a lot of legal hurdles. There was a lot of corruption down there with the two different judges, a lot of corruption with the police officers down there. And it was a lot of corruption, doing a little bit further digging, other people who tried to stay in the background of the whole thing. There was a lot of evil stuff that was taking place. They made false reports on him, right? It had many investigations, a lot of legal complexities. They stole his animals. He's going to discuss all of this with you guys. They stole his animals. They stole, a lot of assets that belonged to Derek, because everything that Derek did came out of pocket. Everything that he did, he put into it himself. Okay. So no further ado. This is Derek Williamson. I talked to him yesterday, and the brother has a great heart. I love it. He has a great heart. And I want you guys to hear from him what he went through and what he's enduring right now, because a lot of people have asked, how can we help? So as a village, he's going to let you know how we can all help him out and what he's facing right now today. Okay, even from the point where he found out about the Hardies. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and make his box bigger because I want y'all to see his face. Derek.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just want to say thank you so much for just being on. Thank you so much for T. Drake and Prophet Ruben for having me on today. Just want to say thank you, everybody that's on the live today. You guys know that I don't show my face in the media and social media a whole lot these days. In the past, simply because the weight of the situation was the gravity of it was too much for me. It took a lot out of me. And as Prophet Ruben said, it has a lot of different levels to this right here. But so I'm just going to get into it a little bit, but just want to start out by saying thank y'all so much. It is an honor to be here. It's been a long road, and sometimes, it's not over. To God says it's done. And it's been a lot of tough nights and a lot of tough years, though. But I believe that the tide is changing now. And I need all the support that I can get to really begin to hopefully put my life back together. put the ministry back together. And as you guys know that, yes, we know that in Covington, Georgia, there was a private plane that went down outside of the Covington airport within, I believe it was within a 3-mile radius. That plane that went down happened to be, we know the Hardy, the James Hardy and Janet Hardy, and those are the ones that you see in my videos, and those are the ones that have been in legal battles and were maliciously trying to take the sanctuary and try to take the farm and take and take the ministry. One thing I will say that there's been a lot of, that across when it comes to social media, things like that, there's a lot of opinions on a lot of things. But for me personally, in my perspective of faith, I still look at that as a tragedy, and it is something that is, and that it is tragic in every sense of the way. But I do say this as well. Sometime after a forest burns, then after that, some of the most beautiful vegetation and some of the most beautiful trees and things can come out of the ground after destruction. So right now, that's where we are. But to those who ask, do you have your farm back? It's been years. Did you ever get your farm back? The answer to that question is no. I did not get my farm back. The Hardies were in my farm, were living on my farm. Even when their plane went down, they were still occupying my farm and living on my farm at that time. In October of this, in this past October, I went home and it was like SWAT team officers came out with tactical vests on, things like that, and they took me out of my bed, took me out of my room. And then they told me that, if I did not get out of the house and leave, then I would be arrested. And they pulled cuffs out to arrest me at that moment because I said, I'm not leaving. This is my home. This is my home. It's my residence. My license has this on it. All my vehicles are registered here. The company is registered here. My deed is here. The bills, all of the bills on this property are in my company's name and my name. And
I do that every time. And for those that don't understand, everything, lights, utility, his deeds, everything was in his name. And everybody keeps asking, will he get his farm back? Not yet. He hasn't. He has favorable Superior Court rulings in November of 22. He has papers showing this is his. And all of the things. But no, not yet. He was arrested. He was thrown out of his house. Always remember, be careful. Never say never. What do I say? Squatters have more rights, y'all. And you cannot trust nobody. Let's continue.
And I am the 100% shareholder. These people cannot produce not one document, not one true, nothing whatsoever. And so bottom line, those tactical officers, they proceeded to arrest me. And at that point, and I could not, this is around about the same time of the year. October was the same month that that we went through when the videos were posted. My brother passed away around about that same time. It was, if I'm correct, it was that same week. So I could not be locked up in a cell, and during that time, it was just mentally that it was too much sorrow that I went through the first time. Because they came and I had to go to the hospital. The officers came and they threw me to the ground, face planted me to the ground on my concrete. My concrete porch outside, so they actually they came out. One of the officers came out of the house, and I thought he had a weapon pointed at me, but turns out it was a taser. And so I had to go to the hospital. I sustained injuries from all of that. And after I was treated at the hospital, I was taking my ambulance from my farm in ambulance to the hospital. As they treated the injuries, then I was taken and thrown into a cell in Morgan County Jail, where I would spend that time until my lawyer was able to get me out. So the story has so many layers to it, and as you guys know, and from you guys, like, what do you do? Like, I mean, yeah, we know it's farm, and yeah, we know it's we get kind of what's going on here, but so that you guys can have a deeper understanding. So the name of my ministry or company is called The Way Dynamic Animal Therapy Encounters. And we believe that the way that their source is the way, right? And we believe that animals have a unique ability to help people. We believe that animals have an ability to reach people and pharmaceutical drugs can't sometimes. We believe that animals help a child with autism to escape the box when medicine can't. We believe that veteran, that PTSD veteran that has been through traumatic war times, he cannot sleep at night. We believe that we can get dopamine released into his brain and we can make him smile through some of the animals that we interact with and creating a safe interaction. So there's complexities to what we do. So on the business side of things, on the business side.
Well, that's the thing, baby kisses. There has been suits. There has been court rulings, and there has been things that is in his favor. But the problem is the corrupt. It's almost like Sumner County has to invite FBI. The corrupt judges are overruling all that. Unfortunately, it's a mess. When I tell you, after a few things about it, that's why I didn't stick with it. I'm telling you, I don't think there's another corrupt court system as corrupt as this. It's very complex. He has civil attorney. It's all the things. But again, it's easy to say, I would do. But when you can't. It's that simple. But he's still fighting. He's very smart. Oh, he is so smart. He's very smart. When the judge in Georgia, when the courts and all that had their rulings and everything in his favor, the court just overlooked all that. They overlooked it. Hold on.
That's animals saving the lives of humans through animal therapy. But then we switch the concept for the nonprofit side of things. So the Paramount Wildlife Incorporated does the opposite of that. So then humans turn around and save the lives of animals through wildlife rescue.
Yes.
When animals are injured and orphaned and need help, or when these two baby fawns, these deer are standing on the side of the road because they just watched their mom get hit by a car. Those babies need bottles. Those babies have to learn how to forage. Those babies have to learn how to live in the wild. And we, in our perspective of rehabilitation, have to teach them how to do that because mom's not here anymore. It's a ministry. So when it comes to what we do, I've been obstructed for years now. So the business is animals ministering, saving the lives of humans. And the nonprofit is humans turning around and ministering, saving the lives of animals. So over the years since I've been obstructed, we believe that the preservation of life is important. What we do, I'm to let people know very clearly, the reason why this story has so much gravity to it is very clear. I'm not a car dealership. We are not a restaurant. When we're not able to operate, things don't make it. It's as simple as that. A lot of facilities in Georgia are maxed out. So if you live in Georgia, you may have found that possum or found that, baby deer and things like that. And you called every agency out there, but guess what? Nobody could take it. Or you had a hard time. You had to drive 3 hours to get it there. We were the closest ones opening. I have a 40-acre, our farm is 40 acres. And, if you guys have seen my TikTok and Facebook and different social medias, I went very far and our team went very far to create some of the most dynamic animal enclosures and things, on our facility. Like, it's really neat. We were before all this happened, we were in the process of constructing an animal hospital on site. So, before these things happen. So I want to touch on somebody, there's a lot of people have a lot of questions about the business part, how this transfer and this. And I want to make this very clear. Understand me clearly. Okay. There's not a lot of people that wake up and say, listen, my job and my identity, my mission is found in making sure that a deer gets what it needs to survive, or making sure to connect humans and animals together. We sit people that have this altruistic attitude and and ability is not found in everybody, right? So it puts us in a unique category. Those that minister from the perspective of wildlife and animals, it's a rarity. So I want to say that in lieu of what I'm about to say. So therefore, a lot of people, if you go study how a lot of wildlife rescues, even some zoological facilities and rehabilitation clinics and things like that, they are founded and they are funded by private people or corporations, giving them the ability to do their ministry, because we don't do this for money. We don't do this because we want to get rich. And if you want to talk business and numbers and things like that, the one thing you'll learn about what we do in our perspective, we have the most expensive business you can have. The land costs an astronomical amount of money to minister well. The animal enclosures and fencing costs a lot to do that. The animal handling and the training you need to minister to the animals, all the complex licensing and permits, and you are regulated from every level, from all the way down to the county up to the United States Department of Agriculture. The knowledge you have to have, and in my case, we have exotic animals, animals that originate from as far as South America and Central America. Hoffman two-toed sloths. You guys will see in my videos. Sid and Sue. You will see Ezra. The albino wallaby, right? And you'll see my Patagonian cavimaras, kinkajous. These animals, when I began to bring animals and import these animals into Georgia, I had import permits from the Department of Natural Resources. I was sure to bring animals into this animal family that had an ability to minister. We are a farm. One thing about every animal on our farm, it was set to minister. It was going to minister in some capacity. We were a working ministry, a working farm, sanctuary, whatever you want to put. And everybody ministered in their own perspective, okay? So when this happened, right, it took a lot to get up to where we are today, and so a lot of Janet Hardy contributed a very big part of that. Together we bought that farm. But just because I was approached with this substantial contribution, she said God gave her pointed instruction to do this, right? And when someone tells me God gave them pointed instruction to do something, I'm kind of funny. People, if somebody says something, that we know, obviously, if they're trying to, I can lie and and God says, okay, no, that's a little different. But when somebody says God gave them pointed instruction to do something in their ability, then, I'm very careful how I challenge them. But I made it very clear to Janet and very clear. I said, listen, if God called you to do this, it's great, but you got to know that. I told her I told her take time to make sure you hear, understand that you heard properly. Okay. Because this could seemingly be a big deal, as we kind of see later on down the road. And I told her, I said, in order to build safety nets, a lot of people would say, oh, this young man was naive. Oh, this young man, just do all these things. Before I get back into the financial part of it, I want to take a little second to say this. The ministry that we have with the animals, we minister to all people. I don't care if that PTSD veteran looks like this or this. I want him to find peace. That child with autism that can't escape the box, I don't care if he looks like this or this. We're set to minister. I don't under everybody is governed. You govern your practice and your ministries and business how you want to. But what the perspective and narrative that I was given, right? We minister to all people. When the Hardy family came into my life, all right, we didn't just go. I wasn't just at a grocery store and saw them and say, hey, and then she's like, oh, here, I got all this money. Oh yeah, listen, I have a dream of a sanctuary. People think it worked like that, but it's not. Didn't go like that. We had a proven relationship over time. They were able to learn my character, the DNA of how I believe. They were able to see the results of how I perform. I'm the former vice president of a zoological facility of a lot of animals, whether it was wolves, alligators, camels. I have a very extensive background in wildlife, right? And they were able to watch this ministry. They were also volunteers. I used to be the director of one of the most prominent food banks in the region, serving thousands of families a month. And we grew a very, very familial unit. We were friends, and we were friends. We became closer, and that relationship built, but it built through labor. We built through understanding, and they understand my perspective of life. I move a little bit differently. My heart doesn't work the same as a lot of people's, and I get that. Hey, to each his own. But they saw it, and Janet saw that. So when this was presented to me, and when the situation was brought to me, I believe everybody has a season. Everybody has a purpose, and in that purpose, Janet had a purpose.
And Janet didn't hold up to her purpose. She made his life a living hell. A living hell. And remember, he trusted them. They were all friends. Also, they got to see him in action, see his work, see everything he done, how he rescued animals, how he was with everything. And also, when the daughter was turned out pregnant and all the things, who did they come to for help? They went to Derek. Derek. That's who they went to. And, you know, what's next for this man? His whole life is in shambles, and he keeps going and he keeps going. There are appeals. He's got legal teams working on this, all of that, especially where the lowest court was in defiance of the Supreme Court's ruling and the higher court's ruling. You don't understand how corrupt these people were. And the heirs, Janet's heirs, are still living in his home. And that's just made things a whole lot more complicated. A whole lot more complicated.
With the birth of this ministry, she had, Source had a plan for this ministry to be here, and together we were able to come together and open the way dynamic animal therapy encounters.
Yes, y'all
for
please
the world
go subscribe
and for people to be ministered to.
Justice
So
Denied
I want
channel.
to say all that to say, so when it comes to the contribution, because everybody's hung up on the contribution, I may look like this right here, but if you go look at those paperwork of a lot of those other wildlife rescues and organizations, listen, we all got it the same way. People believed in what we did, because a lot of this is not something that's average a lot of times, okay? And we had the resource, we had the ability and the intellectual property to build something. And to those of you that had questions about things as well, if you go look at my page, you'll see the relationship. You begin to see how we strategically built facilities. For example, the sloth enclosure. If you look at that, the sloth off a two-tier system. They have a waterfall through the floor for humidity, because they're from a special humidity and temperature and things like that. So we made sure, and granted, I was very young in this initiative, but I had a heart, and I studied and I learned what to do. And then now we're going to get into the I'm a pivot a little bit now. Okay. We understand that we get it. The ministry, we protect, we're the preservation of life. Someone believed in this vision, this ministry, which is not different from the other people, except for I look a little bit different and my age is a little bit lower. Fair enough. It can throw you off. But then we get into the product of what happened. We close successful business. I want to make sure to make this clear to you all too. They say, well, how did it happen? Well, there has to be something he's leaving out and things. One of the only stipulation that I had in this endeavor, right? We had a 2-year plan which was going to take a lot longer. 2 years was a lot longer than the instantaneous what Janet told me instantaneously, what she was prompted to do. Okay. We had a 2-year plan. So when Janet brought this to me, I said, hey, listen, all right, once you deliberate on it, you go and you discern it, make sure you heard clearly. She came back to me and said, listen, I heard this. I know this to be so. I said, okay. I said, so we got to make sure that it's that way. So we got to make sure that we establish something now. That property, that sanctuary, that wildlife rescue facility, that ministering facility would not be in neither one of our names. It will be in the ministry's name. So if something ever happens to me or to you or whatever the case is, it ain't going to be a dispute. The ministry owns it. Those veterans that we're going to help, those kids we're going to help, those people that don't know wildlife and animals and conservation initiative, those are the people The animals own this sanctuary. Me, I'm just a servant. You know, God chose, I don't know, out of all the people in the world, God chose me to sit on in front of millions of people and tell my story across the world and to do this perspective. It was my destiny. It's who I am. So in the fibers of my DNA, this type of ministry and work, I told her it belonged to the ministry. And I told the lender, and at first there was an issue because the lender came back because we had to fight, we had to finance 400,000. I took out the loan, half of that loan. She took out the other half of that loan. And the lender said, you cannot close this property in the name of the corporation at the time, because I was only a year and a half old as a corporation. The lender didn't want to do it. I told the lender, and I told everybody involved, listen, if this property cannot be put in the ministry's name, then there will be no deal. Simple as that. It's very clear. The lender came back, and everybody, there was a big team, the loan officers, everybody got together, and they said, listen, we will do this right here. We will allow you and her, okay, close on the property because you guys are taking a loan. This is you guys are taking the loan out. Y'all are taking a loan. So fine. Close on the property. We will allow immediately at that same closing table. You can soon as the official deed is produced of you and her and your ownership, right? And we close in that moment, you can sign it over instantaneously, both interests, meaning on your own volition. You can sign over in front of an attorney and a notary and at a law firm. You can sign it over to the company and give it its final destination if that's what you guys want to do. So we closed. We went. I said, hey, we can do that. I'm for that. It long fee do a progression immediately. There won't be a 30-day delay in this. There won't be anything in that. It's not about me owning it. It's not about you owning it. It belongs to the ministry. Let me make that clear. The lawyers agreed. The lawyers came in. We had a massive stack of papers we went through. We signed everything. We became owners in that moment. We applauded it, and it was wonderful. Then the lawyer turned around within a minute and something, flip those papers around, slid them straight to us for the second part. At that part, I would sign over 50% of my interest of all the land and of that property. And then she would also sign over her 50% to the ministry, which are the true owners of that land to this day. So those of you that want to know how that all worked out and all that, I could care less about the dollar amount that was put there. It was about the principle of this day. If I would have done things differently, I wouldn't be sitting before any of you today. I wouldn't have been in this situation. I wouldn't be able to protect my animal family with what's left of us now. I moved strategically to protect us. That corporation is at the ministry, the farm. The deed of the farm is in the company's name. It's an S corporation. S corporation is a tight corp, right? So we know it's very difficult to dismantle and to move around S corporation if you do not have shares. So what did I do as a safety net? 100,000 shares is what the Way Dynamic Animal Therapy Encounters is comprised of or consists of. I own all 100,000 shares because guess what? Who did God call to do this? These hands. And it needed to remain accordingly that way for this exact purpose. And in the perspective of love that I had, I trusted Janet. I appreciated what she did. I'm very thankful for even Jordan and Claire and Jay in the perspective that things were working. I appreciated them. It was good. But the one thing I knew is I had to make sure to protect this ministry at the end of the day. So those of you that said, oh, he's naive, he messed up and all this stuff like that. No. There were safety nets in place so that trust could be put forward. I want to make that clear to everybody. So now we're going to get into some other things. Now we're going to be like, oh, the land was taken from you.
He is Millie. I think that thing automatically comes on and off. I'm sorry, y'all. He is Millie. He's very intelligent and he's very smart, and he is. And I remember when he was on my show and we talked on and off, and I think that he really did also care about Janet and her family. And that's another thing that keeps shining through to me, and then they just try to erase his entire future, his entire life, and take everything that he had. And I think he trusted them way too much. And that's just something, you can't do. I do want to tell y'all that with this, God, it is storming outside. With this, what happens when a landowner dies during a legal dispute, like Janet Hardy, she passed away, okay, in this plane crash. And at the time, her family, the entire family, was actually disputing Derek. And so they were disputing his right to occupy and own this 40-acre Georgia farm she originally gifted to him. And so what legally happens next is when a person dies and they're involved in an active civil dispute like property or deed challenges, I hate to tell y'all this, but their legal standing position transfers over to the estate or legal heirs, unfortunately. And in Janet's case, her heirs, that's Jordan and all them, the children, because there is no spouse, the spouse died along with her in that plane crash, now become the defendants or the plaintiffs. Hell, I can't even speak and say it. And so now it is still an ongoing court case. Janet, her estate likely entered the probate, and he'll probably tell all this, but it's a legal process. The assets, including any disputed land, are all cataloged, they're valued, and then they're distributed, or however it works there. It's different everywhere. And if Janet claimed the land was all hers, which there's papers that it's not, it's going to get messy. This is going into her estate, and sometimes that can take another year or years. It's probably going to be listed as an asset. And even though Superior Court already ruled the land was Derek's, it still creates conflict. And the state may try to include the land as he no longer legally owns. So it's going to be one huge mess, a mess. And boy, do I feel for him.
The land, how could you be kicked off your land? You're the CEO and founder of the company. You're the 100% shareholder. You're the deed holder of the property. You're a resident on the property. You built all this stuff on the property, your team. You have all these animals out here. So how could you be removed, right? So get this, everybody. So you're gonna have to follow me, because this is real, this is raw, and this is what happens across the United States. So, and I'm thankful for for platforms like this and Justice Denied, because what it does is it begins to highlight this corruption and peels back the layers, but do something about it, right? So what happened in small courts, in small towns and jurisdictions, right? We know that it's comprised of judges, right? It's comprised of officers, right? And it's comprised of residents. Those are pretty much some of the elements that's there, right? And in my case, when you have 4 judges, a chief magistrate court, a magistrate court judge that worked for the chief magistrate court judge, I exposed her corruption. I caught it. And it was there. You guys saw it in the videos. The chief magistrate court judge, her friend, Judge Burleson, a Superior Court judge, Stephen Bradley. Okay, 4 judges. The Okmulgee Circuit is the oldest judicial circuit in the state of Georgia. Okay, these guys are very, very powerful circuit. They've been unopposed for a long time. So that's how they move in this energy like this, because they have not been checked by the people yet, or a situation that's willing to fight up against them. So you got 4 judges. Now we're going to add in some more people. We're going to add in Morgan County Sheriff's Department. Okay. All these officers involved now. Now we got 4 judges, and now we got a whole entire sheriff's department. Now we're going to add in some more people. The corrupt zoo, Nicole Kanoy. She's the CEO and founder of Animals on Set and Wildlife Critters Circle of Life. I'm the former vice president for that zoological facility. The Hardy family do not know animals.
Hey,
So my water
everyone.
buffaloes, when we get into them stealing all the animals and stuff, they didn't know how to do none of that stuff. They had to hire expert. So a former business partner that I left because she was practicing corruption on the facility, my own facility, she came into the play. Another millionaire as their expert to steal and steal my zoological fencing and things. So now we got 4 judges, an entire sheriff department. We got another millionaire zoo owner in conspiracy. And then guess what? Now we got mega millionaires involved too. Janet Hardy and James Hardy. Okay. Now we got them and the Hardy family. Okay. So now you see all these people begin to point their fingers at me because I look a certain way, that I don't deserve this. I shouldn't have it. And they all work together in their network to take me off my land illegally, unjustly, and by might. Okay. So that's what happened. The judge signed arrest warrants. The police executed Janet and her husband and family, harassed me, destroyed my vehicles, hurt the animals, did all these things. The judge protected their crimes, right, and stopped them from being charged and things like that. The police department will be the fiscal ones to arrest me and take me into custody, and everybody worked together to do this thing right here. But I want y'all to remember something, right? I'm one man. My team, and this is raw. I'm gonna get a little raw for y'all for a second, okay? My team, right? I made everybody on this team, right, take an oath. They had to put their right hand up. They had to it's a written oath. I have videos of this. Everybody. They had to take oath. They'll protect this ministry and this sanctuary, these animals, against attacks from the outside and the inside. They'll feed and care and do whatever we need to do to make sure that this works and to protect it. My team thought it was radical that I made an administrator swear them in the office, swear them into this role, but it was that serious to me, right? And it was very real. Every one of them, for the most part, violated that oath that they took to this ministry, to this organization, and for lack of better terms, committed direct treason against the ministry that God gave us to do, because they want to liquidate for assets or whatever the case is, right? And as a CEO and founder, I had to make a tough decision when it was brought to me that we would be liquidated, selling the property, all this. When they brought this to my attention, at that moment, I said, you know what? If I say no, I knew what it can entail. And my initial thought was like, hey, listen, it is what it is. We'll go ahead. I need to go ahead and move forward with it. But the war, my spirit, now the warrior in me, my spirit, and the ministry that we have, and the vision God gave me to be the shepherd of, to make that decision, it didn't belong to anybody else. And I had to remember that. And at that moment, I began to readjust. And I tried to negotiate. I said, hey, listen, I said, there's an attorney that we all trust. I told you, there's an attorney that we trust. Let's go talk to him. I tried before anything went crazy, before anything went out of the way. I said, listen, there gotta be a strategy to this. Let's go talk to this attorney. Janet didn't do that. All right. It'll be 2 days later that I'll be standing in my yard, feeding the animals, and I see all these police squad cars coming down my driveway at a more, not like cruising. They were hauling down my driveway. And I knew, I'm a black guy out here on my farm right here. I don't know these officers. I don't know them. They don't know me. But I discerned that there was already a call made because by the speed of those vehicles. I put down my buckets, feed buckets, whatever I had, put my hands straight up. These officers all start getting out of vehicles, walking towards me. I said, gentlemen, I said, hello, good. I said, I believe it was the morning. I said, good morning. My name is Derek Williamson. I'm the owner of this property and the CEO of the company that the deed is in, that the deed's name, that the name of the deed is in the company's name. I said, how can I help y'all today? These officers looked at me and they said, we received a call that there was a black man trespassing on property. I kind of laughed. I got to look down, look back up at them, and I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, that's definitely not the case." And I told him, I said, "I live here. This is my home, and I'm the owner of this farm. These are all my animals and everything that's here." They said, "You have any documentation to prove or of any of this right here? Like, you have any documentation?" I said, "Of course. If you'll let me go inside, I can definitely get you that documentation." And that will be the beginning of when it started with false reports that day. And the police obviously couldn't move me that day. So what did they do next? After the police could not move me and I couldn't leave my home, I have 116 animals. I have all these different animals on the property. I have everything from water buffaloes to sloths, all these animals. They don't know how to take care of these animals. I had to be there. And sure enough, they began to the first instant where I was removed from the home, they said 2 white women, all right, Janet and Claire Hardy, they alleged that I physically assaulted them. Like, flat out lie, never touched anybody. As you guys see, if I was going to put my hands on somebody, it would have happened. It could have happened.
Honey, I'm just telling you right now, I hate to tell you this, but if he was going to physically assault somebody, he would have assaulted them the day he went in and his brother passed away and they were screaming and yelling vile things to him. And we've all seen that, and I will show it again. I'm not going to go through all my email and stuff, but I'm trying to pull it up here on my phone so maybe we can watch a few short TikTok videos here, because if anybody would have put their hands on anybody, he would have done it then. These people, all of them, heirs and all, children, everybody, is vindictive. Smiley will say it. Hateful, disgusting, and all the above. Just saying.
Could have happened, but I didn't, because I knew that's what they wanted. And I knew that I could not go feed into that. You guys have seen the videos. They have put me through complex levels of sorrow, of anguish, of framing. And through the whole process, and one thing people can say a lot about me, right? But the one thing that you can't say is that I did not put my hands on somebody, that I caused harm to anybody, intentional harm, and none of that. You can't say that. I took everything, kind of like a soldier in training, so to speak, right? They would just begin to do many things, and I'm gonna stop here I'm gonna put a little pin in it here for a second. So either Draco or Prophet Ruben, if y'all want to need me to elaborate or anything or add anything. I know I've been talking for a little minute now, so I'll go ahead and turn the floor back over to y'all in case y'all needed me to elaborate on something or want to take a little breather, however y'all want to do it, or I can continue.
Oh, I'm loving it. Some of the people were asking questions like,
they have some questions.
Is the daughter still in the house?
Absolutely. They are all in the property right now. Claire Hardy is in the property. So the girls in the videos are on the farm right now. Jordan's boyfriend is on the farm. If you look at my video, you see where the windows are bust out. You see it's a like a 22-year-old white guy on my camera. That camera's in my bedroom. They broke into my bedroom because I had a kinkajou in my room, and anyway, I have cameras mounted. They broke into my bedroom and they dismounted those cameras. And if you look at the camera, his face is right in his face is right in the front of my camera. And you can see his hand going over my camera to show y'all. He grabbed it, he looked at it, and they dismantled my cameras in my private bedroom. Okay, so he's there at the property, and James Hardy's mother is living on my farm as well. Now, if you guys don't know, Ruth Hardy is she's very, very wealthy woman. She's very, very wealthy out of Madison, Florida. She owns the boating club down there. A lot of properties, own tons and tons and tons of acres. She's one that bought.
Honey,
speaking of planes, the Hardys own 2 different planes. Okay, the Commander plane. This is inside information that you guys get privileged for being here today. But the Hardys own 2 planes. One of those planes is the Commander, okay? The Commander is a single engine plane. That is the plane that they went down in on that day after the airport. It's a single engine plane. It's a small plane. If I'm correct, it's only a 4-seater. They also own a plane called a Mirage. It's a very beautiful plane. It's a lot bigger. If I'm correct, it's a dual engine plane. It's more robust and able to take, has different settings. It can go farther, take off quicker, and stay in the air longer, okay? On the day that their plane went down, I don't know why they were not in their Mirage on one of the worst foggiest days of Georgia, if I'm correct. I'm not gonna, as far as that information right there that I've just shared with you guys, I'm not gonna elaborate on any more of that. I'll just say, listen, the bottom line is there are 2 planes involved. There was a commander plane that they went down on, but they also own a Mirage. I bought that up because Ruth Hardy, Jay's mom, is the one that bought that Mirage plane for him. So she's the one that bought that plane. So that just lets you know the caliber of how many millions of dollars and how much power is on my farm, which made it so difficult to this day. So yeah, so the girls, they're still on the farm right now. Yes.
Hey Drake, did you have a question?
That's the question I had too. Was the daughter still there?
Okay.
Yes. Yes, they are. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this too. I'm gonna privilege you guys to this as well. Okay.
Oh, sorry, never mind. I was just
this
asking.
is a whole nother element
What part
that has not been put into, that has not been put out in any sense of the way yet. But there's a lot of people that have reached out to me personally in regard to this. So to those, I know a lot of you guys that have been talking to me about this, what I'm about to say. I know you guys are all in a lot in the chat. So this is you guys, me putting it out there for you guys. As we know, the Hardies, okay, they own over 60 properties in Covington, Georgia, just a couple miles from where their plane went down. Okay. Those tenants out there that have been in these duplexes, they're duplexes, right? So you're talking about a lot of tenants, right? James Hardy has been doing horrible things to these tenants for years. There's mold on the roofs, and there's mold in these people's roofs. The floors are caving in. He's charging them a top tier rent to be there. And a lot of these people are people of color, of course. So therefore, they're charging all this money. He's creating fake. He goes and he says, "Oh, you didn't pay your rent. It wasn't in the box." And they have to find money because they can't oppose him. He dehumanizes him and says, "Oh, you're dumb. You're dumb. You can't think. I tell you what to think." And get this, everybody. I'm give y'all. I saw somebody put tea in the chat. I give you a little bit more tea. Newton County Water, right? Yeah, we're gonna do it today, right? Newton County Water, right? They've been in conspiracy with Jay for quite some time now, right? Did you know Jay Hardy has taken the main water line for the Newton County water line and manipulated the water lines and put his own watering system in on all those units out there? It is highly illegal to manipulate a county pipe and waterway.
Oh,
they knew it. So guess what? You have all these tenants, countless tenants, right? They wanted their own water bill. They can't get it. Jay has created a fake meters on all of them. And guess who sets what the meters are? Mr. Hardy. So they cannot get water. So guess what Hardy does? He goes, and I've seen these slips. He gives them $160 slip. "Oh, you owe me $160 on top of your rent." Well, but the water, we didn't use that much water. It couldn't have been. We only use this. No. Hey, listen. What are you going to do about it? Go tell the county. So these people go complain to Newton County Water. And guess what Newton County Water do? "Oh, you got to talk to Mr. Hardy about it." Yeah. So
oh, wow.
I don't know what answers. They've been in conspiracy for a while. Newton County, where that plane went down, they've been in conspiracy with Newton County for a while. But so you got all these tenants now, and I'm coming off from all that in tenants. I'm speaking to you directly right now.
Brian, he's dead. Brian said he needs to be locked away. He's not alive.
All right.
Yeah, and he's gone, and yes, he is gone now. And he is gone, and that brings up the next element of this now, and to all of you guys. I know, and it's one in particular case too. Joshua and Kimberly, they worked for him for over 20 years. Okay, he took half of their money, their check, both of them, all this time, and promised to give them the house that they've been in for all that time. And guess what? Out of nowhere, kicked them out of that home after taking hundreds of thousands of dollars from this family. All right. And this is the type of man that's there. And I hope that somebody picks that part of it up, because these tenants are scared. I've received the messages from you guys, I know, and I believe that hopefully something can be done. But right now I'm going to go ahead and digress, keep the focus. But I will like to say to all of you guys, I tried to give y'all an insert on there. I plan on looking into it more, but the tenants need help. And now, if you guys didn't know as well, the daughters now, Janet Hardy and Claire Hardy. So y'all stay with me. Get this right. So Claire Hardy, Janet Hardy, and Jordan was heavily. We know that when I came into their lives, Jordan had a very bad substance abuse problem, right? And you guys know the media wasn't too nice to Jordan after all this stuff happened, right? So guess what? It's perceived to have happened. She kind of slipped up again, right? So now Jordan Hardy, right, is now the head by default executor and head of all the millions of dollars that's there, all of the airplane, the properties, everything is sitting in her hands right now, right? She sent out a letter to tenants. As you guys know this, all of you guys received letters. It was very poorly drafted letter, in my opinion. But anyway, the letter stated, hey, listen, the daughters are taking over, right? You pay us now. Jay's gone, essentially. And then so now this was going to happen. So now they are not only are they collecting all of these funds and taking over everything. Now they don't have the intellectual property to manage. They don't have the intellectual property to do a lot of things. So that's going to create a whole nother situation right now. So that's a whole nother topic in itself. I digress from that, and a little bit of inside information. I digress from that. Go ahead, Prophet Ruben.
Let me say this real quick, because myself and Drake, we need all those tenants to reach out to us ASAP. We need you to reach out to us, because we're gonna not only expose all of the other stuff, but we're gonna expose that too. We're also gonna give you, we do have attorneys that'll help you out, but there is ways that you can actually take over that property, and we'll let you know when we talk to you. Okay. And I'm gonna say this also. With that, because I found that out, when I heard about the addiction problem, and I'm not wishing bad on anybody, but I've seen it too many times. I've seen it too many times, and I've also had visions and stuff like this too. Have you noticed how people get up here and they get so greedy with things like money or narcotics or whatever, and they start overusing it? So I already saw that happening within the next couple of months. It's going to be an overuse, and it's going to be an OD. I saw that. But one of the things that I wanted to surprise you with was there's a few tenants that did reach out. I'm keeping them anonymous, okay? But they did reach out after they saw that video that I did, and they said, quote, I'm going to say it, quote, right, that I'm going to say allegedly also.
Allegedly, yeah.
I gotta say allegedly. Allegedly is a lot of the people that live in these houses were made to give other services in exchange for rent. Letting you know that.
Yes.
And now they're starting to really talk about it. That's allegedly. You hear me? But they're already talking about it now. So a lot of that stuff's getting ready to come out. A whole lot of stuff is going to come out.
Yes.
Regarding that. So we want to help all those tenants out. We're going to keep you anonymous, but get you guys the help that you need. You may be able to file a class action, and several other things. All right. Now, Emmy, you already know what services I'm talking about, how some of these landlords get out here. How did some of these landlords get out here and say, oh, you ain't got the money, well, you got something else. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they do. But yeah. It's out there, you guys, and a lot of things are getting ready to come to the limelight. A lot of people are going to start backing away now from that family. Watch, they're going to start backing away because of everything that's getting ready to get exposed about it, and they're going to back away also because they know now the daughter is over this stuff, and they already know, you know what I'm saying, how things are getting ready. You might as well say they used to be multi-millionaires. Used to be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that's things right there. Yeah, year of exposure, 2025. Okay, so
And
what can they do to help you? You know what I'm saying? Well, first I want you to tell them. You know, you elaborated on a little bit as far as your ministry, the company being in a being the property being in a trust.
Can I ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
Who's taking care of the animals now?
When all this happened, the judge told me I couldn't go home. So a lot of animals, the Hardies, they were left to the Hardies and Conoy family. They slaughtered some of the animals. A lot of the other animals had to go to foster homes, and some of the fencing wasn't the best at some of the places they had to go to. So either wild animals broke in and hurt some of the animals too. So some lost their lives that way. By default, the Hardies, the water buffaloes, those animals, they were demised by the Hardies directly in the Cold Conoy. Another set of animals I had to move immediately to other, foster homes. They were farm animals, or goats and things like that, and other wild animals or different animals got through some of the fencing because they had to do aggressive moves because the judge removed me. And the last set of animals is my exotic animals. My sloths, my kinkajous, my Patagonia and KV Mars. You see a lot of my exotic animals that you see in the videos. Had no choice, but when the state of Georgia came on the property because I begged the judge to help me and to move these people so I could protect my animals. She obviously denied me of that, and they started moving animals around the state of Georgia. Then I was put under all these false reports with the Department of Natural Resources and USDA. And after that, the DNR, the state of Georgia said, Derek, you have to move your exotic animals off this property, pretty much under the context of you cannot protect them. These people are here. They have to be moved. So I had to make a decision to, obviously you can't just have exotic animals. So I had to sell those animals because I couldn't afford, because when the company went under, I had to pay legal fees. I had to try to structure. I lost everything. And so I had to sell the animals to zoos. So I sold all the exotic animals to a zoo, except one. To this day, Ezra is the one I've held on to. Ezra is, if you see the albino wallaby, it looks like a kangaroo, but kangaroos get 6 foot tall and 200 pounds. Wallabies are a lot smaller and only get about 50 pounds. I raised Ezra from a bottle. He was a bottle baby and that kept in a pouch. Some of you guys on here have met him or seen him, but I pay the zoo hundreds of dollars every month to take care of him, to give him his food, his water, and zoo staff. I've done that for years now. He's all this. He's one of the last that's left of the animal family. So when we get our farm back, he's one of the ones I'm hoping to bring home, but everybody else has either been slaughtered or MIA, or a lot of it, Nicole Canoy, when she broke into the facility, it was reported to me that my water buffaloes are slaughtered, but you guys know the heart I have my water buffaloes. Y'all, if you see the videos, when my brother when my brother passed away and I was there at scene and I saw my brother there on the road, the one thing that there's not a lot that can console my heart and my spirit in that moment. But my water buffaloes, I went home and my water buffaloes, I was with them. They all laid down beside me. It was one of the most beautiful things. And Samson, he's a reddish looking one. He's my boy, first one I got. And all of them came around me. I laid on him. He just put his head around. I don't know if you've seen cows in the videos, put their heads around. And he did that and just consoled me. I just had to sit there and I had to have my moment. I needed him. Okay. Then I went into the house sometime later and all the mess happened with Jordan when I went into the house. But so what reported me they were slaughtered. But I've kept Ezra because he's still a part of this animal family as well, and I'm trying to get him home too. So yeah.
So what can the people do? Well, first I saw one of the comments down here. Have you tried getting an attorney from Atlanta to come down to help you out?
When it comes to attorney, I'm going to be extremely pointed with you guys. All right. I reached out to probably thousands of attorneys, and everybody from the NAACP and on up down to the Justice Department. I've made every complaint, the Judicial Qualification Commission, everybody. I've reached out to everybody, all these attorneys. One thing attorneys tell me is the story either has too much publicity and they don't want it, or they're like, how are we going to, the judges, we don't go against judges, and the judges are not going to, because the one thing about the judges in this case, they don't care. When a lawyer goes and tells them, like you see, they'll break the law. These are corrupt judges. They don't go by the law. So a lot of attorneys, when they look into this, they say, oh, these judges aren't, so that town, they're not going to do it. So a lot of attorneys every attorney except one has told me no. So my attorney, I have a civil defense attorney, and she stuck with me through thick and thin through this process. She does not do offensive. I need an attorney that can help me hold them accountable and recoup funds and recoup loss. But she's helped me defend, like she does all the legal. If you get a chance to see, she's pretty vicious. She's helped me so much. And like if you go on my website at helpthearc.org, there's a transcript. Okay, as you guys may know, the Chief Magistrate Court Judge of Morgan County,
link down in there,
Judge Connie Holt, right? She went to her friend, the Superior Court Judge, who now presides over all my farm, who wouldn't give me my farm back and all that stuff like that. She went to him, and she walked from downstairs to upstairs, right? And she took out the stalking charge against me because of my social media, because I exposed her online and the publicity. She was getting publicity from it. And you read the transcript of that. If you go on my website, I have the transcript. Judge Stephen Bradley did some very unconstitutional things by law. I'm not going to get into this real deep though, but it's a lot there. Her friend, her counterpart, the Superior Court Judge Holt, kicked me out of my home over a year ago at that time, right? Anytime you are a quote unquote alleged stalker, right? They must file in the county you reside. Judge Holt knew she kicked me out of my home over a year ago. So therefore, I couldn't be tried in the jurisdiction of Morgan County. He didn't have jurisdiction. But when you read that report, my lawyer said, hey, this case needs to be moved out into Rockdale County. But the Superior Court Judge in Rockdale County is the same Superior Court Judge that gave me everything. I won. This case should have been over. To this day, I have a Superior Court ruling from an honorable judge, Superior Court Judge, that says, listen, all these allegations are denied. Everything belongs to him. I took that ruling into Morgan County, and the little Chief Magistrate Court Judge said no. She wasn't hearing it, right? And the Superior Court Judge, I have a ruling. I've already won, but they want to enforce the ruling. So the county, because the Morgan County said we're all working together, we're not going to enforce it. Long story a lot shorter, that judge found me guilty of stalking a Chief Magistrate Court Judge. So I lost my First Amendment right to tell you guys what was going on. I lost my Second Amendment right to bear arms in one of the most dangerous moments of my life. He gave me the maximum order in Georgia, which is a 12-month order, which is 1 year, right? And he barred me from coming into any courthouse in this county. So I could not conduct business. I could not filing. I couldn't do anything unless it was through an attorney. He said the only time you can come in this courthouse is when you come, when we deal with your land. That's it. I served it for a year.
What I want you to do, Derek, is there's one in there. There's actually an attorney in the comments talking about they're willing to help you out and everything. So I want you to hit him up in his inbox, because we need all the help we can get. Has the attorney, the civil attorney you had, have they tried to move it to another county after the fact?
Only thing is, they filed, but so this is the thing, we won. The case was over. We won in Rockdale County, but because Janet practiced fraud, so they filed a fraudulent. Once I won, Janet Hardy filed for divorce in Rockdale County. We won, 100% win. They lost. So this what happens. James Hardy goes. She dismisses the case, right? They conspired. She dismisses the case. Then they take it into Morgan County, except for this time, James Hardy files the case against me in Morgan County. So a transfer county, there's already been a county transfer already in my case already. The next step is going into state and federal courts. And my attorney is saying, she's a local attorney and she's good, but she's like, she doesn't go into higher courts. She doesn't, that's beyond her comfort zone, going into higher courts. That's not how she practice. So that's where we're at right now. But we've already been jurisdiction from one county. We won. But the Morgan County said, listen, we're not listening to that judge. We don't care if he's a Superior Court judge. You're not getting this land. You come on it. You're going to jail. That's it. And you're not evicting them. Period. That's it. So that's what I've been dealing with. They don't listen to the law. They don't care.
Well, there are some aggressive attorneys that are in that area. I know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to, you know, trying to use attorneys in I ain't gonna say all of Georgia, but certain parts of Georgia. I remember when I had a lawsuit against Pepsi for, you know, they had nooses and all kinds of stuff, you know. And when I went to go sue and everything, because I had the right to sue, the attorney that I had looked like us, and he was too afraid to go up against them. You know what I'm saying? And it broke my heart. I'm like, man, we're supposed to be able to, you know, whatever. But B-Way is going to inbox you her email.
Awesome. Perfect.
And,
that's perfect.
Yeah, so when you get the email and everything, you know, definitely hit her back.
Complex.
You know what I'm saying? That way,
they don't care.
This is the point of this whole live. You know what I'm saying? Making connections and getting things done. There are people asking about GoFundMe. We're not going to do a GoFundMe. We're going to do a it's called Give Send Go. It's like a GoFundMe, except it's a little bit more secure. 1 and 2 is more trustworthy. So we're going to do a Give Send Go. That way, you guys, you know, whatever needs to be given. You know, so you can't say certain words on here. Whatever you guys want to give and everything, you know, you'll be able to give on that right there. Unfortunately, Grace, you know, a lot of the NAACPs that I've encountered and stuff, they have just let me down. You know, they've turned more political than anything else. You know, it's absolutely to me, no more justice. It's all about politics. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, exactly. And exactly. I've reached out to so many of them. I reached out to, you know, the president of the NAACP in Georgia. I went off these justice people, and I learned some tough lessons, even to those that do this work, man. You know, and to those that help people and do this work. I mean, it's another special place for people that do this kind of stuff. Because what I've seen, I've had organizations that have come alongside that quote unquote help me. Boy, they stressed me out just about as much as the Hardies did, almost, you know. So so it's like, I get it, but man, come on now, you know. But I'm thankful, man, for the trajectory that this is going in. And this is what I will say, you know. I watch a lot of people say that they were going to help, say they were ready for the fight. Boy, they get in there and they found out them jokers got some heavy hit punches in that ring, boy. They jump back out that ring pretty quick. But I'm hopeful that this time, that with the community backing, you know, somebody a lot greater than me once said, right? Hope deferred makes the heart sick. All you gotta do is just stir up a little bit of hope. And that's what I'm gonna hold on to. That's what my animal family is gonna hold on to. I'm getting ready. Let's say I have something else for him. I'm getting ready to wrap up in a minute, but I want to share something with you guys too. You know, when it comes, and it's something I had to learn. I had to learn a lot of tough lessons through this process. I was a very private person. You didn't really see my face much or see me much unless I was, you know, before on social media, unless I was debuting the animals, showing the ministry, letting you guys see all the beautiful animals we have and what they do. This process put me in front of a lot of people, and I had to be under public scrutiny. I wasn't a boss at public scrutiny at first. I took it hard. When I got in the comment section, started seeing some of the stuff people were saying that was so ignorant, so out of line, so made no sense. Didn't know anything. And I watched these people, thank you so much. And I watched these people do these things. That sent me into such a tough spiral for a while. If you really want to know why I went ghost online, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't fight 2 millionaire families, 4 judges, 2 police departments, and everybody in the comment section. It couldn't happen. But I'm thankful because I fortified through that. I learned there's good, like some of you guys on this live, you guys are good people. Like to the hosts here, y'all are good people. And I thank y'all for that because my face may be, or in this case, may be all over the world and everywhere. But at the end of the day, I land this on saying that be intentional on following the story. Be intentional on helping, because if you're not intentional, you'll see my story. You're looking at me on your phone, your computer. Oh, that's crazy. Planes going down and millions of dollars and animals and this little young black. It's a lot going on here. I get that. But be intentional on following this, because every day I got to deal with sorrow of this. There's a PTSD out of this too. Believe me, I got it. But the thing is, I need you guys now. Last time, my story kind of went crazy through all over the world. Y'all know it. It went all the way up to the world. But the one thing is, nobody knew what happened. But guess what was happening? All the mess was still happening. Guys, y'all stay with me, please. Help me get home. Help my animals get back home. Yes. I really need you guys.
We're going to do that. Sure. And those that are asking about, what something else I want you to answer is, they said, what happens to the land now that the Hardies are deceased? what happened to your land? What happens to your land with that right there?
That's a great question. So right now, the Hardies have possession of the land. I have been in October. There was a criminal trespass against me. Right. That means all the remember I told y'all tactical guys came out. It was vests and stuff on, took me out of my room and kicked me out. They tried to arrest me, and I said, "Hey, listen, I'm just gonna leave. You got to put handcuffs on me." Took the handcuffs out. I said, "That's fine. I'll leave." They gave me an order, a 1-year order. So as of October, I am barred from my property for 1 year. I can't go out there. So that order has to be dealt with, still, because they're going to say, well, the order's in place. There's a criminal trespass in place. And Claire Hardy was the one that signed that trespass. Janet was not home at that time. Claire Hardy signed that criminal trespass. Claire Hardy is the resident, and Jordan and her boyfriend are there. So by law, technically, if I go out there, I will be incarcerated, even though the deed is a deed of survivalship. I own, but everything is there. But the thing is, they make it impossible. So what I have to do, I'm gonna speak to my lawyer and see if we can try to file an ejectment action now is what we're working on filing. But then we gotta get through, and it's nothing. Those judges out there, they're not gonna be happy. They made it clear that they don't want me on my land. They made it clear. They've dismantled the company. If you see my videos, go look at the videos. The property was so gorgeous when I was on it. But now everything's growed all up. There's weeds and things everywhere. All the animal beautiful enclosures I've built all torn down, and all the fencing, that expensive metal grade wire fencing for the primates and for the servals and all the different the wildcats and animals, all stolen by Nicole Kanoy, by her zoo. They stole all the future building. They destroyed so much out there in lieu of everything. So to answer your question, they have possession of the land right now. I cannot go there. I've been criminal trespass, or they will upgrade, or they could possibly upgrade charges on me as well too. Okay, so I have to try to file this ejectment and just hope that my deed of survivalship is there. The last comment to that is this: I have been reached out to already by someone in the Hardy family that's supposed to be I guess step in and helping or whatever. I'll just say it's a direct relative of Janet Hardy. I'm not going to give any more information to that, but it's a direct relative that's very close in the quote unquote bloodline, if you know what I mean. So they reached out to me and they asked me questions. They want to ask me questions about, have we been on your website? And I've been on your website. What is this? What about this right here? They said they were saying that they're going to try to get my property sent into probate. And if we go into probate, y'all know probate is forever, and it's a mess. Probate is a mess. So they're trying to get my property into probate, but by law they can't do that. They don't own anything. The Hardys never own nothing to this day. Right now, Janet Hardy, James Hardy, they've never owned anything in the farm except Janet owned part of the farm. She owned 50% for less than 5 minutes. That was it. After that, nobody owned nothing. To this day, I'm still the deed holder. Everything's still the same. It's still the same. The only difference is I got judges and people saying I can't go there. That's it.
Well, the thing we're going to do, you guys, we're going to set up that Give, Send, Go, and we're going to put the links in all our bios. Myself, Drake, Derek, others and stuff, and like I said, we have, attorneys that are in the chat and everything. Hit him in his inbox. And then he's gonna get back a hold of you guys. We're gonna continue on with this fight because everybody knows, I've been talking for the past 2 years about owning land. Tennis shoes and cars and all that stuff, that's nothing. But if you own land, you have an asset. You have something that you can get out here and you can build with. You can build a legacy with. You know what I'm saying? And just everybody coming together, having your own community, having the land, build your houses, all that stuff. That's something that can go down in history. When you're gone, your kids have something. Their kids,
right?
Their kids. Right. So this is a battle, not a war.
It's absolutely a battle, and it's heartbreaking. I want to play this for y'all. I'm sorry. Yeah, I do too, Millie. Let's see. Hold on. Let me pull this up.
Chat and everything. Hit him in his inbox.
Hold on.
And he's gonna get back a hold of you guys.
Hold on. I got to turn this off. Hold on. I'm going to show y'all something. Hold on. Oh, darn it. Wait. I knew that was going to happen. Okay. I got to turn it up. All right, hold on. This should be, I think this is the one where the people was really mean to him. I think. Hold on.
Get your hands off me! Derek soon realized that the same people that he housed were actually a family of millionaires. Their father, James Hardy, is actually the owner of over 60 properties. Well, why would they want to stay at his house? What was their plan? The Hardys, particularly Jay Hardy, began physically and verbally attacking Derek, but would turn around.
You see him? He act like he touched him. He didn't put his hands on him.
Get away from me! Get away from me! Stop! Get your hands off me!
Janet, along with her daughter Claire, testified against Derek, saying that he physically assaulted them, even though Derek had video evidence of the Hardys assaulting him. The judge totally disregarded that video evidence and allowed the Hardys to pursue their stay-away orders and restraining orders. Derek was actually removed from his own property and forced to stay away for at least 6 months.
Yeah, because I'm not going to keep on letting you put your hands on me. Get out of the house! It's in your house!
That wasn't even the half of it. That was not even the half of it. Hold on. Wish I could find that one because that wasn't even close to being the half of it. Okay, this is where they're gaslighting him here. This was February 2023.
I'm not touching anything until law enforcement get here. Y'all hurt me, and this fine that stuff belongs to me.
Oh my God! Jordan's baby stuff. Stuff about how much to sign away. None of the rest of this is yours. My mom paid for all of this furniture. My mom paid for this
No,
entire
it's company. It's company. All belongs to the company. And I've just been assaulted by these people, and these documents, this stuff that's in this drawer is mine. They assaulted me and broke the drawer on camera.
None of your stuff.
And this is mine, and this was out of the drawer here, and they broke the drawer with the arm on it. It's not true. That's when law enforcement get. I have a video to prove it. That's why I took out a reporter immediately for the courts. That were in that drawer and that y'all assaulted me over. This is my house, this stuff that was mine, and you assaulted me over getting my papers out of the drawer right there. And I'm calling law enforcement. They'll be here, so I'm recording for my safety. I'm recording for my safety right now.
My mom has done so much for you, and you have just run over her.
I'm not. That's not true.
Yes, it is.
You're trying to act for the camera. You're trying to act for the camera, but it's not going to suffice. I'm recording you all for my safety.
My mom did all of this for you, and you just stomp on her and treat her like she's a piece of
You're acting for the camera, but it won't suffice. I'm not saying anything else till law enforcement gets here.
I'm saying this to you. You are insane.
I don't know if a weapons are already on the weapons has. You guys are. I've done nothing wrong. I'm just waiting for law enforcement to get here. I've done nothing wrong. It'll be showed in court. It will be. I'm not, like I said, let's just wait for them to get here. Let's just wait for the police to get here, okay? That's going to be the best thing. Law enforcement will be here soon.
I feel so bad for him. I feel really bad for him. This is I want to let y'all hear the neighbors. This is one of the duplexes, as you can see. I'll just put it down.
Hey, so what's going on, everybody?
He went
As you
out
guys
and
know,
interviewed.
my name is Derek Williamson. I'm the young black farmer out of Georgia whose land was stolen by the Hardy family. And now, as you guys know, I've been going on
I'm just gonna let
properties.
y'all
They own
listen.
over 60 properties. And tenants have been being abused, have been having so many issues happening. Things that were supposed to be fixed were not done. And we're just highlighting the story to tell more about what's happening and to get family justice. Today I'm here with two of the Hardy family tenants, okay? And they're going to talk to us a little bit about what's happening, what's going on right now with their properties. And we're going to talk a little bit about this case also has like Vincent, right? So Ms. Vincent, she is the tenant of A. And so Ms. Vincent, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Doing all right, ma'am. Doing all right. So tell me a little bit about, so you've been a tenant with the Hardy family for some time now, for 3 years now. Tell me about the issues that's here. Have they came and fixed anything? Have they been responding to you? Or what's going on with your unit?
When we first moved into this, we've been having issues about the squirrels coming in, and they never fixed it. So my husband had stood up, and the squirrels somehow came in anyway. But my window has been broken. It's been broken ever since we moved in here.
Wow.
We had our sewage has been backed up ever since we moved here, and we've constantly been telling him about everything that's been going on. Up under my sink, the floor is tore up. Up under the sink in the kitchen, the floor is tore up. My tub, it leaks up under the bottom. My doors are like, talk about the outside. My doors, air come through during the wintertime. Air come through it. We have insects come in. We have like spiders and stuff coming in. I'm afraid that snakes come in, so we have to keep the snake stuff away. It's a whole lot of stuff that goes on here that he never fixed. When I say never fixed, never have fixed nothing. And when you call him, he don't answer. And then you have to literally just fuss. And then he'll answer. Then he'll come over here. I'm going to fix it. But I asked him about my windows and all the stuff on the inside. He told me, I'm going to fix it. I said, so if I fix it, will you do my rent? He said, no. He said, but if I fix it, I'm going to go up on your rent. I asked for the new door. You're going to go up on my rent. Front door and back door. You can see straight through it. If you go inside and shut it, you can look straight through it. Where air is coming in and out. And my air conditioner, it leaks so bad that it's all in the room. I have complained about that ever since I've been here. Ain't nothing but good since.
Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that, Ms. Vincent. I'm sorry to hear that. And that shouldn't be, and that shouldn't be, but we know how the Hardy family is and how Jay Hardy was. And it's sad, but right now, you're currently still going through all of that right now. And I know we're going to go in and have a look. You say you want to show us some things in a minute, but we're going to take a pause there. Everybody, I'm going to introduce you guys to Miss Smith right here. Miss Smith is a tenant that occupies B unit here. Miss Smith, how are you doing today? Hey, good to see you. Miss Smith, tell me a little bit about what's going on. How long have you been a tenant here?
I've been here almost 2 years.
2 years now?
2 years.
Tell me a little bit about what's going on here, Miss Smith.
But first, when I moved here in September, over a year ago, for 30 days, maintenance had to come because my toilet leaked every day. It leaked so badly, it leaked to the entrance of the hallway. Miss Vincent always come over to check to make sure, due to my disability, that I haven't failed or anything. And I asked him to he would come out. He said, well, you're sitting too hard on the toilet. You need to rise in the chair. And I said, I know what I'm doing. I'm in therapy. I know how to go to the bathroom, whatever. But in general, he said, well, you complain every day. I said, but you get your money.
Yeah.
I said, you got your money. But I'm going to do here. It makes it this is hard because there's listening. That's one of the ways I get up sometimes due to my disability. And then through my gutter, see, I can get straight up.
Oh, wow.
I got
Yeah.
actually a squirrel got through my vent in my kitchen. Mr. Vincent had to come and catch a squirrel in my house for me. And it was raining at one point in my bedroom. And he
Raining in her bedroom.
I just deal with it till the rain stopped raining. And I said, but what if it fall and I'm in here? He said, well, it fall. Maintenance will be out here today or something.
Yes, I'm so sorry. And see, and even and like you said, with the disability and having there's certain things, water on the floor and not having stable support to get around, that puts your health in further jeopardy. And you made that clear to him. And he cared nothing about it. And the Hardy family, they cared nothing about it. You know, it's something, too, that I believe that y'all let me know about. And there's something going on, like y'all don't get a chance to go out into the backyard and like you want to and stuff. Tell me about what's going on. Tell me about what's going on with the backyard.
Okay, it first started off small. My husband paid to have it fixed.
Have what? Hold on, what fixed?
Sewage.
So sewage, okay.
Sewage backed up.
Paid them $700 to just clean it up.
So your husband paid to have your sewage fixed. Jay Hardy didn't pay that. James Hardy didn't pay that. The Hardy family didn't pay that. Your husband paid how much again? $700.
She paid extra $700 out of her pocket.
And then it started back doing the same old thing. But as it started back, it was getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. My husband was like, maybe you won't pay no. That's not our responsibility to pay it. As long as he keep getting rent, that's not our responsibility to pay it. So now it's like probably bigger than this.
Sorry.
It's much bigger than this.
And so the suit is coming up out of the ground. It's literally coming out of the ground.
We can't have family functions. I'm the type to do to have family outings.
Yeah.
We can't have family outings because of that. And it smells. And you can't open your door. You can't do nothing.
That's sad.
Because it'll make you sick. But my main concern is my husband has had open heart surgery before. My cousin is disabled. I don't need them to be in this situation.
Further compromised by this, and it shouldn't be. And that's coming up out of the ground like that and destroying yard. That's a problem. And I want to see that, you know. And this is unfortunate, you know.
I try to make, even though some people might call this like a place that might need to be condemned, but right now we can't afford nothing else. So I have to make this as homey as I can make it.
Right.
Whenever mostly get messed up, my husband will fix.
Right.
But I have to make this as homey as I can make it for right now until we can afford to find something else. Because right now my husband has now got on disability.
Sad.
I see. And I know in a situation it's tough within itself, and that's why we're trying to get help for everybody, because y'all should not have to go through this. Ms. Vincent, Ms. Smith, I'm sorry about this situation. It really is. And that's why we're here, because the world needs to see, just because this family is a corrupt millionaire family, it is giving them the ability to navigate allegedly through the court systems and through government, and to begin to make sure that the people that need the public servants to hold others accountable, the people that need the support the most, and the tenants. And hey, listen, everybody just asking, if you are a landlord, do what you're supposed to do. You're getting all this rent money, getting millions and millions and all this rent money from all these tenants and these families. But guess what? You're not doing anything to help them. The Hardy family has known that they have not helped. I want to go in the backyard briefly, and I want to take a look at this this switch real quick. So, you're more than welcome to come with me or and escort me. But if not, I'll come back and I'll come back up here and then we'll go into A. Where I want to go in A. Then if you don't mind taking me into B, Miss Smith, as soon as I come back around, okay? One moment. So everybody, they talked about a lot of the things that they've been dealing with here. Everything from varmint being able to get into their unit, all the way down to like the sewage coming out from the ground. And we're gonna have a look at that. Y'all go ahead and come on, follow me around through here. And even as I'm walking up, I can smell the odor. I can smell the pungency of the odor as I'm walking up through here. Oh my God.
Yes.
Wow.
And I have to cut my own grass, so.
And and a lot of the tenants, he's supposed to cut you guys' grass based off the rent. You pay for that off the rent. Everybody, I need to get a close up of this. Right. So this literally is sewage coming out of the ground that his family is dealing with. Both units are dealing with this. Look at this. This is literally shooting out of the ground. And look, it's destroying the yard. If you look down through here, if you scan out down through there, you see how it's running down the yard now. Look at it, it's running through the yard. Look at this. It's running down through the yard, down through here, discoloring the entire yard through all. You can tell that from all of the what's coming out of it, destroying the yard and getting bigger and bigger. This is a lot. And even right now, I'm looking. Even the gutters have not. So therefore, the gutters have not been replaced. And look at this right here, coming up through here. This gutter falling apart.
Oh
that means they can't even.
Is that wood?
And it's destroying the unit as well. Destroying this apartment.
You know that caused termites.
And this is what these families are dealing with. And everybody, that's why I'm saying that you guys got to get involved to help this case. This is what these families are dealing with. Look at this. What if this is something you had to go through? If your landlord didn't fix this, look at this.
10. Okay.
And
thank you.
Wow. And Ms. Vince, I'm going to get ready to let you take me inside. And you reported this to him. How long has this been happening now? 3 years. 3 years. Wow. It's even killing the grass. It's killing the yard over here. You can see it killing there's a discoloration all through here as well. Coming through here. And the odor that his family has to deal with. The odor as well coming up from the sewage. Wow. And because of the gutter, the squirrels are coming in right through. You can literally see here where varmint is making entrance into the home. Hey, so what's going on, everybody? As you guys know.
Wow. That's all I can say is just wow. Wow. So, wow. I wanted y'all to know what was going on in this case, and it's horrible. There will be definitely more to come. Yeah, power lines. That one poor lady, not the one that was with him just now, they left her sitting on the porch. She has a disability, and the rain and the water was coming in her home, and she's scared she'll fall. So her neighbor that was with Derek just a minute ago goes and checks on her and makes sure she's not fell or anything like that. It's just a crying shame. And you talk about slumlords before their demise. Do you think Jordan and them is going to do that? No. Jordan and them is worried about probably out partying and all the things. It's disgusting. Greed. It's horrible. Like I said, let me just double check something. Yeah, he still hadn't even got his thing from last night. But I did send him, like I said, a little prayer. And I asked him, did he have anything to say? So I'll wait to hear from him. He's usually pretty good about answering. But as you can see, he's pretty busy. He's pretty busy, and I'm sure he's got a lot on his plate. The worst thing is, I think he did care about this family, and he trusted the wrong ones. And you got to be careful out there, people. I hope this gets taken care of, and I hope he gets what's his back. Nobody deserved this. Nobody. So, again, the Hardies may not have to answer here on earth, but they ain't on earth anymore. So they will have to answer. That was the Hardies. That was the Hardies, the ones that died in the plane crash that took over his land and his farm. And I will post, I'll go back and post some things so y'all can actually see, because he has the papers. He has all that. And I saw him a couple years back, whatever, through the years. I don't think there's anybody more corrupt than Georgia and what he's been through. It's sad. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for posting all the links. Thank you, everything, for everything. And I will see you around. And I'm glad we got this update. Y'all have a great day. Thank you. Bye.